Because that's just what's happening. We are winning.
We winning. We winning. We winning. We winning. We winning. We winning. We winning. Yeah. We winning. We winning. I know they hating out here. Yeah. I know they mad. They all in their feelings. But baby, I don't care. She calling the police on me and everything. Yeah. Somebody need to get on the phone. Call my attorney. Dealing with these hard-headed hoes who ain't learned.
Salute, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Simple Shit TV. I'm your host, Alvin Holden, also known as Project 8020. It's all about the NBA right now, right? NBA and the Mafia. NBA and the Mafia. So, first of all, I want to thank any and everybody that's catching this on a replay. Anybody that might catch this on a catch it on the replay or catch up late. I also want to, before we get really started, I want to welcome to the broadcast my brother from another mother, Broken Blade. What's up, sir? How are you doing?
What's up, man? So, how are you? You sound like you're running on fumes, man.
Yeah. And you know, I mean, look, bro, there's stuff to do. You know what I'm saying? There's stuff to do. Sorry, hold on.
Please don't fuck yourself up like trying to make moves, you know.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds good. You know, I'm with that. But truth is like, I mean, none of that shit matters, bro. It's results. It's results. If you have no results, you know what I'm saying? I get it, like our health and everything, and people we always say that. I get it. But you gotta perform, you gotta produce. You just do. Gotta perform, you gotta produce. And this is all there is to it. There's no excuses. If something doesn't land right, it's your fault. You know what I'm saying? And so the question becomes, you know, can I do a better job of trying to facilitate all that stuff? Probably, maybe, you know what I'm saying? You know, once I get to a point to where everything is cool, you know, will I be able to handle that? You know, cool. But you know, in the meantime, it's crazy. Look, it is what it is, bro. It really is. It sucks, but it's the truth.
Like,
is it true?
The same mindset.
Man, you know what? Kevin Samuels got taken out, bro.
I wouldn't be surprised.
The more I start rattling, I started thinking about that the other day, and I heard somebody say something. That man was 6'4". He'd already beaten cancer. You know, he was a lean, mean 200 something pounds. You know, obviously, yeah, he was running on all cylinders. But like, here's the thing too. Like there was a moment with Kevin Samuels. I covered the moment where he was, I think he just crossed over to, might have crossed like 1 million subscribers or something.
Yeah.
And he went and had a steak by himself. And he bought his waiter a steak. Right. And as a creator, as a person that has spent, I know you've spent a lot of time sitting in front of that computer editing or whatever into the wee hours of the night till your eyes cross. Right. And, you know, you haven't quite been able to have the successes that he has had as far as the media is concerned yet. But it's such a long, hard battle and fight that, like, Terrence Crawford, after he beat Canelo, like, he was trying not to just start bawling right there in the ring afterwards. You could tell on his face he was trying to keep it together It was crying from joy. I know the feeling. I know exactly what he was trying to hold it down, but he wanted to bawl. He wanted to cry
Deeper than that, like
so hard. He
in
wanted to.
context, like deeper than tears of joy, tears of vindication.
Absolutely. 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 And so, you know, being, you know, a man's life when you're really trying to create stuff and you're really trying to hang your hat on your accomplishments and your performance and so on, bro, it's like you really understand that, okay, like nothing else matters. Like nothing else matters. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. Nobody cares how you feel. Nobody cares. Like, you know, you hit the thing and no one's gonna be like, yo, you remember that day when you were when you were like off of like a pot of coffee and and 2 hours of sleep? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, no one thinks about that except for you. You know, like no one cares about it. No one, the interview, when you see interviews, very rarely. The only time I'll see an interview where someone will ask a good question like that is if they themselves did the thing, like an ex-baseball player or an ex-football player or an ex-basketball player will be interviewing another player and be like, hey, you know, you remember you went on that stretch, Michael Jordan, where you played all 82 games and then you played all through the whole series of the playoffs. Like, man, how was that last series like? And you had the flu. Like, what was that like? Like, how did you hold it together? You know what I'm saying? Like, only a person that has been there asks that question. Everybody else doesn't care. Nobody else cares. Nobody else cares. And like I said, bro, look, man, clock is ticking, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You know, just is what it is. Shout out to Braxton. What's up, bro? But I'm okay. I'm good. Real talk. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, but I'm good. What about you?
I'm good. Yeah.
All right. That's what's up. We're not gonna again. I'm gonna try to keep
those videos finally. Like, you know, I was telling you, I had to re-edit that Asian video about Asian community. So many times I finally had to sit and do it while I was still recovering from that infection. It was like have to pause every like 5 minutes, hawking up snot.
Yeah, that's not ideal.
Yeah.
That's not ideal. What have you been keeping up with this NBA stuff much at all? Yeah, I really haven't been trying to pay too much attention to it. I have a sneaky suspicion that it was meant to be a bit of a distraction, maybe.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, I hate to like give up the sauce before we really get cooking good, but again, you know, since we do listen to so much media and we're so kind of just trying to be tapped in, I think, you know, a lot of times you notice what's not being said or what's not being put on Front Street, right? And you definitely start picking up on the patterns. You know, I keep seeing FBI NBA gambling case tied to 4 mafia families, but
My bad, you got another sidetrack by Braxton's comments.
What's that? In Jamaican is so powerful, saying to fly out of its eye. It's worse than Katrina. Yeah, it was it's pretty powerful. It's like one of the most powerful hurricanes to hit Jamaica in over 90 years. Pretty much since they've been able to record. I think, you know, I don't know if it's true or not, but I think some of the wind speeds near the eye got up to 175 miles per hour.
Wow.
Yeah, and like category 5 is 150. So it's basically like top.
Yeah.
Top, like they don't get any faster. It's not huge, but it's pretty, it's compact. It's a smaller storm, but it's like powerful. And it wasn't moving very fast. It was just churning. It was super slow. It was moving like 3 miles an hour.
Wow.
Yeah. And then what happened was it was charted to kind of hit the maybe mid to eastern coast, like the southeastern coast, and kind of hit that way, and then kind of turned up and south and then turn out to the Atlantic. But what's happened is it just kept jogging west and didn't go north until like the far west side of the island. And then it started making its way up. So, it might hit some of the larger cities and airports and so on. So it's a pretty bad situation. Yeah. So prayers to everybody in Jamaica. I guess it's a trade-off when you live in such a beautiful tropical place, right? There's like a trade-off, you have to deal with those type of weather situations. And it looked pretty hardcore. Like, Braxton referenced the eye of the thing, but like you look on the radar, usually sometimes it's like kind of, mouth shaped and it'll kind of wobble a little bit or whatever. This thing looked like a straight ring, like a straight donut, with hard edges, which,
Wow.
Yeah. And like I said, it was moving super, super, super slow. So, just churning, keeping wind and water kind of pushed up along the coast, which is, kind of the issue. It's the storm surge, right? So hopefully everything for them is okay.
Let's see, maybe the Kofi's on. I'll leave it at
Oh, you think maybe some clouds have been seeded,
possibly,
and some storms be manufactured? I wouldn't.
Nature has its quirks, definitely, but it's curious.
Yeah. I see it like this. I think that the weather, like these earthquakes and all that stuff, is very hard, not hard to predict, but there's a lot of variables that I think that we're just not quite capable of calculating just yet, right? And so do I think that we can intentionally be like, we want that fault line to rupture right there and do that thing? Do I think that okay, we're going to we want a hurricane to hit that coastline right now or whatever? I don't think it works quite like that. I think it's more like we're going to just like do this thing that's pointed in that general direction and then kind of hope that the result that we want falls between these two lines. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if I really think about what they're doing as far as controlling weather and so on, I think it really is like, okay, we're just gonna fire the, seed these clouds or whatever, or warm this water up over here, right? Because that's part of it too, right? Maybe I don't have to do anything with the clouds. I can just warm the water up so that the atmosphere sucks so that water evaporates, right? Because that's how hurricanes get so big. They get over a warm body of water, and that warm body of water is basically like a straw. It sucks that moisture right up into the atmosphere. So maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe they're chilling the air from up north and it's coming down and whatever, and they're chilling the air up in the atmosphere somewhere, and that's what's causing the hurricane or causing the cyclone or whatever. I just think that it's pretty darn complicated, and I don't necessarily think that they're like, okay, we're going to make that Indonesian fault line rupture right there. I think it's like, okay, we're going to fire some energy over there and we'll see what happens. That's kind of how I think.
It's like more evil.
Oh, for sure. Because because they don't care.
Yeah.
And again, I think that the terraforming of the land and the manipulating weather and so on has been spoken of in these ancient texts. So once again, if you believe that because I believe these people believe that this stuff is real, and if these people believe that this stuff is real and they think that they can do these things. You know, maybe they might not have the technology to do it, but they're attempting to do it because they know it's possible. You know what I'm saying?
Part of me thinks either he's like not fully in the circle, quote unquote, if these circles exist, or he's in and he low key told himself. Somebody I forgot who the politician was. Somebody interviewed a politician and asked him why America is so like dogged in its defense of Canada. And he said something along the lines of like me being a Christian, basically according to the Bible, Christ won't return unless the Israelites return to their home. I'm thinking, okay, there's a growing amount of receipts that show the real Israelites look more like us than the Canadians.
Mm-hmm. Big time.
And there's extra credence to maybe why they keep fucking with us.
I think that probably has a lot to do with it. Like, I really do. But maybe, I mean, you can't. But I mean, here's the thing, though.
We're supposed to be in the homeland for, according to their mind, at least, like that. But
for sure. I mean, I don't even know. Again, I still can't get past the what's up is down, down is up, and maybe potentially, you know, the people that are supposed to be the good guys might not be the good guys. They might be the bad guys, convincing us that the bad guys are the good guys and the good guys are the bad guys. You know, I haven't, the jury's still out on it. Yeah. But what I'm saying is just that, like, if you just flip it and look at it and just be like, dang. And I don't want you to do it because you are a very religious, astute man, and I don't want to even suggest what I'm really suggesting for real. But you know, like it just, you know, I play that. And even and see, here's the thing, even playing that scenario out in my head is probably blasphemous. You know what I'm saying? But then maybe that's part of the gig. It's like they tell me that even me thinking about it is blasphemous. You know what I'm saying? Like that might be part of the hustle.
Down that mental road before, like, yeah.
You know, I don't know, man. Shout out to Solo Dolo. Okay.
At the same time, like my response, like every time I try to do things, like at least on my own, like apart from God, the shit has never worked out. No matter how much logic I've applied to it, like the book Ecclesiastes is a great example. Like it's King Solomon, one of the wisest men that ever lived. Wisdom came from God. He got sidetracked by a couple of baddies. A couple of Babylonian women all started worshiping Moloch. God turned his back on him. Toward the end of his life, he returned to God, very bitter, and he wrote the book Ecclesiastes. And that book gets a snapshot of earthly wisdom without the grace of God. And one of the ongoing things is like basically, I think I brought the scripture up before. Basically, the more wisdom he accrued, the harder it was for him to be happy. All these different things he tried to like find joy, try to enjoy as much laughter as possible. He still left unfulfilled. As much sex as possible, unfulfilled. As much food, unfulfilled. Yeah. And the wisdom he gained, like just look at it, like his life experience and looking at other people. One of the ongoing things was it is fully possible to do everything right, do everything by the book and still get fucked over. And shit just not come together.
I think I might be the poster child for some of that. So where I think I thought, you know, I think, you know, so no, I get it. I totally get it, bro. I get it. like I said, my position right now is I am re-investigating everything. Everything is getting looked at with a second look, and I'm looking through it with slightly different eyes. That's what
And
I'm
also with
saying.
respect to further just your personal evidence,
Yeah.
the story you told me, the ghost story.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That shit's real. That shit is real. That mess is real. It's
What did you
absolutely
fight
real.
with and what brought you out? Like this,
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That is real. It is
the
real
church is
as
definitely fucked up. It has a lot of things to answer for.
see, I
Just
mean, okay, see
please
that
don't throw
that's
the
kind of
baby out the bath water.
that's kind of my point, right? It's like, man, if this is so, it's like, how do I choose how much of it's like, okay, I understand that there's clearly something there and there's clearly a good and an evil, clearly, right? But then it's like, well, if that were the case, then why is it that the people that you're sending to me are the ones that are like scamming and cheating and whatever? It's like, how is that a possibility? It's like, okay, well, then on the other side, there's also shenanigans being in there too. So it's like, trying to figure out or trying to square that circle sometimes is difficult, and I understand like the trials and tribulations, but then once again, man, you have somebody doing somebody that's supposed to be a holy person or a person that's supposed to be an example or whatever, and then they go and like lead a whole bunch of people astray, and you're like, well, what the hell is this? What is this? You know what I'm saying? Like,
This is
how do you defend against that? You know what I'm saying? And so
to me, like the clergy are still human, which is
yeah,
one thing that the church especially needs to remember.
yeah.
I'll cycle back around to that. But yeah, even with those positions, they're not immune to temptation. Like the smart clergy, they have protections in place for things they know they're weak against.
Yeah.
Like if a woman in the church is needing counseling, they'll have like their wife or like a trusted female member of the church to address them.
Yeah.
In regards to the church themselves, a lot of them get it twisted. They confuse the clergy for God. The church I was raised in, that I've left in recent years, because they went way off. But even in better days, I always had to think like how watching the people interact with the pastor, like y'all acting like he's God, low key, like
so big time. Oh my God, man!
like churches are.
Bro, I had to, man. I had I had a family member that was like that. That would talk about a pastor like he was just like he himself was the one walking on water, and I see that part of me. I see that as idolatry.
Absolutely,
I see that as idolatry. I don't, man. Look.
And that's why,
watches, jewelry. I don't flashy. I don't worship any of that madness, bro. None of that. I don't hold anything to this like high regard. Nothing. I really don't. I really do. Like, idolatry is the one thing that I absolutely, for whatever reason, I don't know why that story, the whole golden calf story, that story stuck for whatever reason. And when it comes to worshiping a thing, anytime someone holds a thing, that's another reason why. And you know what? I'm glad this is a great segue, Broken Blade, because we're about to talk about the NBA, and people worship these guys and worship the NBA and these professional sports and so on, like it's like the end all be all, right? And then
this one thing just real quick.
Absolutely, go ahead.
This is one of the reasons why I keep bringing up the scripture so much and applying it to modern day stuff. Just to anybody that may hear this podcast understand, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Read the word for yourself.
Absolutely.
And by studying the word, you'll be able to see through these false prophets, these charlatans on the pulpit.
Yeah.
Be a lot easier. Okay, yeah, you're full of it. That's not what the word says. I'm out.
Yup. It's like, oh, why didn't you read the last half of that verse? Exactly. Why'd you only read the back half? You didn't read the first half.
And that's another issue with the church. There's like a collective intellectual laziness. A lot of them.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, again, I had to zoom out, and again, I'm at my own personal because I mean, I guess maybe I've even been experiencing my own personal journey with the church and so on, you know, here in front of everybody, really, you know, just being like, there's a lot of things that I've just been questioning lately. Like, I don't know what's up with this, you know? And if you really zoom out, right, you say, okay, you take the 10 commandments. You're like, okay, the 10 commandments, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, covet thy neighbor's wife. Like, okay, those that makes sense. Like, as a human being, as a person that should be good to get along in society, those seem like some pretty basic rules. I can get behind that. And then if you go to each religion, they have some variation of those 10 commandments, of those basic rules to live by. And you're like, okay, at least most of these religions can get behind this stuff right here. Okay, so that means that there is kind of like this universal, whether people want to admit to it or not, kind of a universal religion, if I may, right? I hope that doesn't make, I hope that's not disrespectful to any particular religion or whatever. All I'm simply saying is that thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not kill. You know what I'm saying? Like killing a butterfly, you know, maybe in Christianity, not that big of a deal. Killing it in Buddhism is like, oh yeah, you should leave that butterfly alone. Okay, all right. But you know what I'm saying? Does that make any sense? Am I sounding like a crazy person?
No.
Okay. So when you zoom out and say, okay, so I know that at least these religions, these things, just being a good person, having these things in they all, for the most part, have these things in common. And then then what makes a lot of them different are going to be the rituals and some of the specifics. Those are what makes a lot of these religions different. Okay, I'm not going to deal with all that. I just got to deal with the basics. You know, what are the basics of these religions? And then you work your way out from there. And that's kind of where I'm at with it, where it's like, okay, I'm going to try to be a good person and leave this bad boy better than I was when I left it. And if I can help people, I'm going to help people. If I'm going to try to spread love and kindness, and I'm going to try to not do anything bad as best I can. I'm not going to steal from anybody. I'm going to do everyone a solid. I'm going to pay it forward. And as I'm doing that, then I should be able to navigate through all of these religions relatively easily, I would like to think. That's how that's in my head. That's kind of just how I see it, you know, because it's like, because, you know, if this God is going to be angry at me for asking a question or being inquisitive about this other religion, like, is he the guy he says he is? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, especially when it's like not any particular God to worship or whatever. It's like, okay, well, what are they talking about over here? Okay. All right. I understand that. All right. What are they talking about over here? All right. That's different. All right. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't see a problem with that, but you know, maybe, like I said, maybe I'm Solo Dolo said it. Maybe I'm a blasphemer.
Again, asking a question from the right place, like even there's a scripture, there's, if you ask God for wisdom, he will give liberally.
I think again, man, I think that's, you know, I'm just, again, I think that there should be nothing wrong with me or anyone trying to get more understanding of what it is we're dealing with here, right? And, you know, to blindly go, especially when so many people have been lying to us, you know, for it
in the name of, supposedly in the name of God,
right? I'm like, man, come on, bro, like, you drive a Bentley. What are you like? What are we talking? You know what I'm saying?
Story, like a few years back, the first time I think it was late 2014. I saw like the new 2015 Corvette. And I was working at Walmart. I see this like middle-aged white guy get out of the car, walk into the store. Like, wow, man, that's a nice car. I look at the license plate that says vetted the plate that says Church One.
And we're not going to get into it because we're going to mess up this whole broadcast, but there's a couple things wrong with that. One, doing it in the first place, but two, getting a personalized plate, highlighting it is like a whole nother level. like a whole nother level. Like, man, bro, homeboy's gonna get to the pearly gates thinking that he's gonna just do, do the hey on the way through the gates and gonna be like, excuse me, sir, is this your license plate? Is this your car? Like, oh, you're gonna have to answer for that. You are gonna have to answer for that. No, man, no, I think that we they show do pander to single mothers. That's who's paying them right now. You saw that pastor trip on that woman for only coming up with 1,200 instead of 2,000. Did you see that clip?
I haven't seen the video, but it popped up in my feed.
Bro,
I think Philip Scott talked about it.
Bro, that was some of the most disrespectful, unbelievable thing I've ever seen. I would have literally gotten up out of my seat in the moment and I would have walked out of that church and never looked back.
There's several videos. Like,
I would have never.
Pastor demanded the ushers lock the doors till they
same thing. Yep, same thing. I'm like, yo, y'all got it way messed up. You better be lucky there's not a whole bunch of people like me out there.
Exactly. I wish you would lock the door.
I wish you would. No. See, here's the thing, bro. As far as churches go, in my honest opinion, the church should be a place where men can go. And I'm just going to speak on the men part right now. I think men can go to gather and not only fellowship, but there also needs to be a community and a business element to it, meaning that they help each other out. So, hey, I need a job. Look, we need people down here at the plant. I can help you out. Or, hey, I need a loan. Hey, I know somebody at the bank. I'm going to go to, like, somebody help me out. I'm going to go send you to my guy. Or, hey, Mr. Pastor, these cops are patrolling and they're bullying our kids. Can you go down and talk to the mayor? And the pastor would go and talk to the mayor and be like, hey, or sheriff, go get these dudes off of us. Or one of the police officers was a member of the church and you talk to him and you say, hey, y'all are getting a little heavy handed with the kids now, like chill out. You know what I'm saying? Like there was a community level to it where you could tell that they were actually helping put money in the pockets of the men in the church, that they were helping the men do business. They were helping the community do business. They were trying to keep
with the church. I'm mad. I think my pastor's trying to move that way.
He's on that. That's what that's how I believe a church should operate.
He wants to basically get a full community, like a church-owned bank. Like he's brought up all of these things.
Yeah,
he's had these like business meetings with the whole church before.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It should be its own kind of almost self-relying community. Is what it should be, instead of just like, oh, you just come and pray and give me money. Yeah, that's some foul stuff to me, bro. That is so foul to me. That is so, to me, it's so foul.
Forget Jesus flipped the tables.
Yeah, flip the yo.
You need a lot more of that.
That's what I'm on, bro. I'm on that table flipping stuff. I'm gonna flip that table. Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at with my personal relationship and my personal journey with religion right now. You know, I still, you know, obviously, like I was in Bible school and Bible study and everything every single Sunday, all the way up, coming up as a kid. So, you know, I know enough about the Bible to be dangerous, probably know a little bit more than most. But again, re-examining things. Now I'm layering the historical element onto it. I'm trying to put all of this together and say, okay, what was a real story? How much of this is like, you know, cosmic Santa Claus versus like an actual entity or a human being or a person or a thing that did this thing, right? We're talking about Ezekiel. Like, wait a minute, did they really look up and they really see something? Like, did they really see a flying machine? It sounds like they really saw, you know, something came out the sky. Like, it sounds like they really saw something. So, you know, that's kind of where I'm at with it. But anyways, to be honest with you, this is way more interesting than this shenanigans that's to be that I'm gonna play, because I think that professional sports have become a waste of time and a distraction for most people. I think that when we look at how much money and time is wasted, it's really kind of sad, you know? Like if you were to add it up into hours and you take one college football game, say like Ohio State, the Ohio State. I think that their stadium is one of the biggest in the country. I think it holds over 100,000 people. So you got over 100,000 people sitting in one place watching one game, and they're sitting there for like 3 or 4 hours. They're eating crappy food. They're not learning anything. They're not gaining any knowledge. They're not helping anybody for real. You know, it's all just this, like, it's all a spectacle, right? Like that's what the Romans called it. It's a spectacle. Not including the millions of people, you know, okay, let's see. Ohio State's probably got, that campus has probably what, like 50, 60,000 kids that go to that school, right? So you say maybe half of them happen to be watching the game. So you got 100,000 people in the stadium watching the game. You got another 50, 60, 70,000. You probably, I mean, you took a TV rights, you probably got another 3, 4, 5 million watching on television, not going anywhere, just sitting there watching, you know, this particular spectacle, right? And then multiply that times 4 hours. Think about just like how much lost time that is, that could be spent making something, learning something, doing something, anything.
The quality of life in some degree.
Meditating, playing with your kids. I don't know. And I mean, now look, I'm not to say that like you don't go to the game with your kids and have like special moments and stuff, but like you can do that outside of like watching a bunch of people run around throwing the ball. And you know, and the fact that it's my people that seem to be always getting the shorter end of the stick on that whole situation is a little bit infuriating to me, for real. So when I see this, and all I see is Chauncey Billups mugshot and these other guys mugshot and this other guy's mugshot, but then I'm like, I hear mafia, 4 of the 5 mafia families, mafia, but I don't see no mafia people. And then everyone is like putting guilt on these dudes like they actually did it already. Court of public opinion, since the FBI said you did it, you must have done it. You must have done it. I'm like, is this the same FBI that assassinated Martin Luther King? Is that the same FBI? We're talking about the same FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigations, right? From the United States? That FBI? Oh, okay, got you. So I'm supposed to believe what they say? Same FBI that put all these charges on all these guys, and I'm supposed to just assume that just because they said it, it's supposed to be right. And then so many black people have been like co-signing this shenanigans. Oh man, because the FBI come, they must have you dead to rights. Bro, if you really pay attention, you know what cases the FBI don't close? The ones where people fight back. You know the ones they win? When they plead out. You know what I'm saying? Like if you really just take away all the ones that plead out and you look at the cases where they really got to go to court, that's not a 99%, 95% close rate. It's not. It's like 50-50 at best.
Wow.
At best. They put pressure on you. They put pressure on your family. They, you know, whatever. Most guys don't have the money to defend themselves or to have attorneys. That's how they bully you into it.
Yeah.
Now you may have committed some crime, you know, sure. Yeah. Sure, you know what? Yeah, I bought that weapon and I didn't have it registered to me, but I bought it legally and whatever. But I didn't. But since you have it and it's not registered to you, boom, they add on to the extra charge. Oh, you guys gonna give you an extra 10 years. That's gonna give you an extra 20 years. You know? Oh, you know what? I was on probation and my homeboys got a, you know, blah blah blah. You know, like you see what I'm saying? Like it's not always as, you know, cut and dry as they try to make it seem like. So when I see this and I know I know the setup. And I'm listening to these guys speak, and then they're just assuming guilt. And then it's like mugshot. But then you don't have the mugshots from everybody else. And I'm like, man, how long are we going to fall for this? You know, and which is why I kind of don't even really want to even talk about this story. But I think that people need to understand, like they need to understand the game. It's like, look. You don't think it's curious that they arrested 34 people, but you only seen 3 mugshots? Like, that's not weird to you? That's not weird? Nobody asks any questions? Like, nobody's like, and you know what? I went and I found some of the names of some of these people because we're going to cover them in a second. And there's an element of this thing that no one's even talking about. And I'm going to cover it in just a second. Before I get into that, man, let's just hear what these news people. Now, this is an older, this was like one of the first broadcasts that came out. And I kind of intentionally chose this for a reason. There has been a few updates since, but for the most part, most of the information hasn't changed. And that's another reason why I really wanted to play this, because I'm like, it's been a week now, 4 or 5 days, 5 days since this story came out. And it's very much same information and speculation. And so no new information has come out, which to me says that it was bull. It was a lot of it was bull, right? Like the story's not falling apart, or the part of the story that they don't want to come out isn't coming out, which is the mafia part. So then one asks the question, are they in on it? Or what's the deal? Here, let's hear what these people got to say. Fair use or watching the news.
I want to put this up on your screen, a tweet that we have there from Fox News showing what we now know at this time. But this was breaking news earlier today that Kash Patel, the FBI director, named multiple high-profile NBA arrests in an alleged illegal gambling ring.
Now, once again, 30 people arrested in the case, including current and former NBA stars, suspected members of a branch of the Sicilian Mafia, La Cosa Nostra. Patel says the FBI entered and executed justice. Now, is it the FBI's job to be executing justice? Like they're supposed to just get arrests. The judge is supposed to do the justice part, right? That's the judge and the courts and justice. Okay. I wasn't sure. Sometimes I get confused. Sometimes I get confused.
That spanned several years. Now, we do know that more than 30 people have been arrested in this case, including current and former NBA stars, suspected members of the American branch of the Sicilian Mafia, La Cosa Nostra. So, of course, we know that this has everything in a story and in a scandal that we want to continue to dive into. But right now, what we know is that Portland Trail Blazers coach Chauncey Billups, Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier, and former NBA player Damon Jones have all been arrested as a part of this investigation, which involves extensive illegal gambling rings, all according to the FBI. So to talk a lot more about this, I want to bring in Dan Roberts. He's the editor-in-chief at Front Office Sports. Dan, thanks so much for being with us here on Live Now from Fox. Crazy day in the sports world, particularly the NBA. I have to ask you, when this story first...
Why no other names? I mean, we know why.
Yeah.
But why no other names?
What type of shitty 80s action movie is he watching?
What's that?
What type of shitty 80s action movie is Kash Patel watching? We executed justice.
That... he's not very good at this, is he? I think people thought he would be better at this. I mean, I didn't. Because here's the thing. Can we be Broken Blade? Can we be honest? Can we be honest? Can we be frank? We're always honest. Can we be frank? Shout out to Hootsie. We're always honest. Can we be frank? Can I be frank?
Yes, sir.
Indians are not white people. Indians are not black people. Indians are Indians. And they're just like the least cool group of people on the planet. Like they're the least cool. They just are. It's not their fault. It's not their fault. Because they're also Caucasoids. So they're white people, but they're brown. They're brown white people. So they're less cool than regular white people, but they're white people. Like their hair is straight. They're white people. They're Caucasoids. They really are. They're just dark skinned, but they're Caucasoids. So they're not cool. They're the least cool group of people with like the biggest egos. Think about it.
Oh, that's great.
Vivek Ramaswamy, right? He thought he thought he was one of the boys. He thought he was one of the boys, and he's yeah, yuck. And then they were like, Christian, you can't, you're a pagan. And he was like, oh shit. He didn't know what to do. Right? Megyn Kelly was like, yeah, but you're Indian. So, it was all funny when it was black people, but and Kash, everybody was like, all right, Kash, let's go get in there in the FBI and show him. And he was like, oh, we're going to close down this and we're going to get out and do real police work. And then he gets in there and he sounds like a schmuck. And I'm like, damn, you really are a cornball. You sound every bit as corny as you look with the eyes going. You look every bit as corny as you look, bro. And it's not his fault. It's not his fault. I think that people sometimes we keep giving these Indian shots thinking that they can step up to the plate and be just as cool as everybody else, but they're just not. They're dorks. And it's not my. I'm just saying.
Does any type of warrior culture? Can you think of any type of warrior culture associated with India?
Curry.
I say warrior.
Oh
culture.
no, sorry. No, I mean they have their own. They have their own, but they don't really translate. I mean, if you read their myths and all their stuff, they have some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
I think that they're a lot of the stuff that we like I said that we've considered to be mythology at this point. Now looking at it in a different light, I think a lot of it might be true. Like I think a lot of it is more true than we think. If that's the case, I think that back in the day they had some pretty cool stuff going on, you know, but right now, like right now.
Watch my video. Yeah. I had to call those fuckers out. But
no.
Oh.
Yeah, no, not right now. Yeah, I think in
like,
there
culturally, like white people, black Americans especially, we have a warrior culture.
Yeah.
Even like the big three Asians that most people talk about, China, Korea, Japan, they have a warrior culture. So they probably would have been better in that position.
I mean, they do, right? I think like Shiva, and I think there's a couple of their small G gods that were like pretty hardcore, and they had some cool stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like on some X-Men shit. But like when you look at like
also a big practitioners of yoga, which is all about like inner peace and all of that.
Yeah. So which I mean again,
you know that story from about Alexander the Great, like a guy sitting in the road, they asked the guy to move, like you know, what if Alexander's lieutenant's ready to stab this guy? Like I was like, you know, put some respect in Alexander's name. You know, he's conquered this kingdom, that kingdom, he's done this, that, and third. But what have you done? Overcome the one that need to conquer. Which Alexander laughed and let the guy, if I would be reincarnated, to be like you.
I mean, I don't know, bro. I mean, like I said, no shade. I'm sure that probably didn't sound nice.
I'm saying like no shade, like this. There seems to be they do have the warriors, but it seems like they're more very peaceful practitioner, very like pacifist type mindset culturally. Yeah. So
I just think they're corny.
You don't need a pacifist leading a department of warriors.
No, because he's like pretending to be a warrior. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like that's scarier than a person pretending to be tough is the word. That's the one you got to worry about. Because that's the one that's gonna that's the one that's gonna shoot you. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the one you want to worry about. The one that's pretending, that feels like he's got to prove something. And that's exactly what we have here. He's got to prove something. The Hellmother said, unless his winds picked up to 200 mile an hour. That's crazy, bro. 200 mile an hour winds is nuts. Like that's tearing up everything. There's nothing really made to withstand that. Very little is made to withstand that. So if you, especially those like shoddy, shoddy dwellings, that if you have one of them shoddy dwellings somewhere, then
no chance.
Nah, I ain't got no chance. So that's sad. We'll say our prayers, bro. But so anyways, Cash Patel is he's just a nerd, man. It's just, it's like, what did he say? Charlie Kirk, I'll see you in Valhalla. Right? He's like, he's a Christian. Stupid. And you're not a Viking. That's Viking God, bro.
Shit, right.
See you in Valhalla. See you in Valhalla. Get out of here.
We'll go full Klingon at the Port Kapla.
Yeah, man. What are you talking about, bro? Anyway, Jesus Christ. I mean, I'm sorry. I had to go on that tangent.
Most from the FBI press conference.
Welcome to the mistletoe.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. Have a great holiday. Every charming little town.
Yeah. So, nah, man. I don't think that that's a very solid.
Reporting about Rogier's sort of involvement in a possible probe that had been out there in the mix, and of course, months ago, Malik Beasley had been out there in the mix as being part of a probe by the NBA. but supposedly had been cleared, and he was not named in any of this. The biggest shock when you asked me sort of the course of the day and how this news unfolded was first the Rozier news came out, and then Chauncey Billups, the news came out that he had been arrested. I mean, crazy to think Chauncey Billups coached just yesterday, right? He's the head coach of the Blazers. Rozier was on the Heat, but did not play in their game yesterday. And both of them are involved in what looked at first like separate cases, but there are links between them, right? So as you mentioned, a big gambling ring here, and Cash Patel kind of did quite a song and dance with this big press conference today. We had.
This is my problem right here. This is my problem. And as a people, I can't understand why we haven't realized how dangerous this is and how damaging this is for our image and reputation. And it has been going on unchecked for so long that people just think that they can just do it whenever they want. Oh, we'll just throw some black people up there, some mugshots, right? Like, have you been paying attention to these thumbnails that people have been putting when they put on ICE and all these criminals and whatever? Like the video might not even be about black people, but there'll be like pictures of ICE arresting black people on their thumbnail.
Wow.
Oh, it's rampant all over YouTube. And it's like, and I'm like, yo, and I comment every time I see one, I comment, I'll be like, so if it's about ICE and, you know, white people, why the hell do you have black people be on your thumbnail being arrested? You know what I'm saying? Like, but and people don't see anything wrong with it. We don't even see anything wrong with it. I think that's part of the problem. And that's what I really want to address, bro. It's like our
biggest problem.
Yeah, our own people are just so quick to lock us up and throw away the key, even though we know how crooked all these people really are. You know, like black people literally should cross their arms and be like, I'll wait till all the information comes out before I form an opinion. Turn that shit, take that off the TV. I don't even want to hear about it until let me know when the case is over. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me know when the case is over. Don't be prancing these people out in front of me. But we don't do that. Our politicians should be out. Hey. Why 9 out of 10 of the mugshots are black people? Black people don't do 100% of the crime. We don't do 90% of the crime. Why is it that 90% of the time, bro, we're overrepresented 85% in the media for criminality. 85%. And whenever they do something, it's like no mugshot, no picture, no nothing. It's like, oh, well, so-and-so did a crime and the police aren't really giving us any details. But then it's like us, it's like, oh, this is the crime in 4K. This is what they did. This is who their cousin is. This is who else was in the car. This is how they got arrested. They did this, that, and the other thing. It's like, oh, okay, got it. So you have the whole narrative in the story when the people look like this, but when they don't look like this, suddenly, you know, you're protecting the people's rights and civil rights and stuff. Okay, got it.
Don't forget, Alvin, like whenever you write that police report, never forget to bring up their green Charger.
Oh, yeah.
Every time, bring up the green Charger.
Every time. Green Charger. The green Charger, right? You right? Remember that because you have to avoid the green Charger? Make sure you put that in there. Green Charger. Absolutely. Yeah, that's it.
The reporter out there, they laid out all the facts, and the officials who spoke from the DOJ and FBI made a lot of kind of puns and gambling jokes as part of the circus here. But it is an investigation that the FBI took nearly 2 years to complete. Rozier's part in this is what you would colloquially call point shaving, and Cash Patel likened it to insider trading. And the allegations are leaking inside information on teams that were tanking, and also, in Rozier's case, leaving games early or even faking injuries, all for the sake of prop bets made by bettors who were benefiting from this. Separately, what Chauncey Billups is tied up in is this illegal poker game, this poker ring, in which Billups and others were referred to as face cards. They were the bait that lured high-stakes bettors to come play a rigged game. And you mentioned, of course, Damon Jones. He was involved in both, reportedly. He's kind of a bridge here. But both of these are a major black eye for the day 3 rollout of the NBA's.
So the bait gets arrested. The bait gets arrested. The host gets arrested. Not the muscle, not the people banking, not the people that were at the illegal poker games. The people that, or at least the people that developed the technology. You think Chauncey Billups is developing X-ray tables and glasses Like, you think that's what he's doing, or is he coaching a freaking basketball team? But again, I'm sure, again, there's 30 people that got arrested, but we don't see any of those guys. Who's the mastermind? Who's doing all this stuff? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are we listening? Why are we talking about these guys? Like, that you even said with your own mouth, were probably just the, you know, they were the face. They were the thing. Oh, don't you want to come play poker with the professional basketball player, Chauncey Billups? You could sit at the table with them, right? Even then we're being used, bro. Shout out to Kobe.
I found myself modding the story you told me about working at the dealership. Get you to sign on some sketchy paperwork, and yeah.
I would have been the one. I saw that play coming a mile away. I'm like, oh no, you don't. Oh no. Oh no. Y'all are trying to get me locked up, huh? Y'all don't care. Y'all don't care that the FBI will come knocking. And it's my signature all over everything. Oh no. It used to be like, yeah. Just take his pay stubs. Just make him make a couple $100,000 more. Yeah, just make him make $50,000 more. Yeah, just do that thing with the. I'm like, oh, do a what? Do a huh? Oh yeah, that thing that wasn't says yeah, because he knew where I used to come. They knew where I used to come from, and my old boss used to do that kind of stuff. But even he used to do it somewhere else, and he would bring the documents back. And we never had anything to do with it. It would just come back and the stuff would be done and we would just run the paperwork.
Yeah.
But like you to think that I was about to be doing that mess. Oh no. Oh no. So yeah, no. Because this exact same thing would happen. I would be the only one in jail. I would be the only one in jail, not the desk manager that told me to do it, not the person that actually, not that,
just your mugshot.
Just me. Nah, player. Nah, I saw that play a mile away. I'm like, I quit. And they were like, "What, you're quitting?" I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely, yes." Because we're in a recession and you guys are getting desperate and you're about to try to make me do some shit that's gonna get me arrested. No, thank you. No, thank you.
New season again. I keep mentioning that to people. We're literally on day 3 of a new NBA season. The timing could not be worse for a league that was already dealing with a separate scandal, a scandal that will probably be somewhat buried now, and that is the Clippers Kawhi Leonard ongoing aspiration endorsement deal and everything that has come out about that. But they have already said, the league, that Rozier and Billups are immediately on leave from their teams. So now the Blazers have who was an assistant coach, a former player who's now the interim head coach. And you have to wonder what happens next, not just in terms of NBA's comments on all this, but if you look at the Blazers, I mean, they're going to be looking for a new head coach, and the team just announced that it's selling to Tom Dundon. So a team that is for sale and is now at the heart of a major scandal. A lot to process.
I think you just said it best there. It really is a lot to process, all the different ins and outs. And so I want to put this up on the screen for folks at home as well.
Now, I do want to pay attention to this because this is his statement, right? Because we haven't heard anything from these guys. Like, the media has just like been hammering these dudes, and we haven't got a chance to really hear what they had to say. No one said anything. He said, we've represented Tony. Let's see. Should she read it? Or?
Well, we do have the statement from Rozier's lawyer saying that we have represented Terry Rozier for over a year now. A long time ago, we reached out to these prosecutors to tell them that we should have an open line of communication. They characterized Terry as a subject, not a target. But at 6 a.m. this morning, they called to tell me that FBI agents were trying to arrest him in a hotel. It is unfortunate that instead of allowing him to self-surrender, they opted for a photo op.
Instead of allowing him to surrender, like they let everybody else do, right? That guy that's allegedly perforated Kirk, right? His family brought him in, an attorney.
Of embarrassing a professional athlete with a perp walk. That tells you a lot more about the motivations in this case. They appear to be taking the word spectacularly incredible sources rather than relying on actual evidence of wrongdoing. Terry was cleared by the NBA, and these prosecutors revived that non-case. Terry is not a gambler, but he is not afraid of a fight, and he looks forward to winning this fight. So that's the official statement there from the lawyers of Terry Rozier. We want to make sure that we're characterizing all sides here, but Dan, I have to ask you, I think the thing that popped out to most people and what we saw earlier today is that he was arrested while at a team hotel. I mean, the impacts of that, like the headline from that alone is major.
Is she not essentially basically reading his statement and then in the same breath kind of saying like, it doesn't matter, or that the optics are more important than his statement? Is that what she just did? Here, hold on.
Characterizing all sides here, but Dan, I have to ask you, I think the thing that popped out to most people and what we saw earlier today is that he was arrested while at a team hotel. I mean, the impacts of that, like the headline from that alone is major.
Yeah, and that's quite a statement. I mean, it starts with no indictment. It ends with, fight his innocence. Now, let's mention here, and I think this is a fascinating part of this, when we talk about the legalization of sports betting and the NBA and the other U.S. pro leagues, the actual bets that were placed in this case were legal bets in the state.
That's another thing too. Hold on. We're because this is another thing too, bro. We'll come to that.
In which they were placed. In other words, there's nothing stopping someone from placing a bet in a state where sports betting has been legalized. The issue, of course, is when it's insider trading, and obviously federal law trumps any kind of state law, but also
insider trading, huh? Broken Blade, did you know that Nancy Pelosi is up 600% in the last 2 years?
I did not.
600% her stock portfolio. PBD on the Patrick Bet David podcast said that one of his associates took $100,000 and did a 1-for-1 investment with what she was investing with. And in 3 months, he is up 58%. Now that's what he said. He could have been lying, but she is in fact up 600% over the last like 3 or 4 years. So I just want to put that out there when we're talking about insider trading and so on and so on. And again, go ahead.
Did I hear that right? How does one engage in insider trading with gambling? Like, did I?
Well, the story is that it's not just for the gambling now. It's not just did you win or lose. They're betting on, will Shaq stub his right toe? Will so-and-so, what's the over under on Curry making five threes, right? So it's like under 5 threes, over 5 threes type stuff, right? And right. So they're not just betting on the winners and losers of the game. It's like all these like little details about the game. And allegedly he took himself out of the game so that he would score less points than he was supposed to score. And he had done that multiple times. That's in this one particular instance. So that's an instance of someone doing something to affect the game or affect their personal part of a bet. And that's kind of how that whole thing goes. So there's been multiple times where like, he might, get, the spread might be a, over under on 20 points, and then he takes himself out of the game when he scores 18.
Gotcha.
And so they're betting on those kinds of things. And so what's happening is that part of the whole betting thing, and the messed up part about that is that the only thing that makes that stuff relevant is the DraftKings and the companies that are now sponsoring the NBA and the NFL and so on and so forth. And all this like fantasy league stuff. So the leagues introduced this bull into the game, and which puts these players in a situation where every single, whether their dick hangs to the right or to the left, is being bet on. And now they're being held responsible for what might come after. Now, there's a sneaky little piece of this that I think is not being talked about, and I'm going to cover it here in just a minute, because I don't think it's just as cut as dry as like, oh, these guys are just gambling away and doing stupid stuff and making dumb decisions. I think there's a little bit more involved in that. And I think that there's most likely some compromise going on. And I think that these mafia guys have compromised some of these dudes and been like, hey, man, look, you got a really pretty wife and you got a really nice home and your kids are really cool. I'd hate for something messed up to happen to them. Why don't you just, get an ankle sprain in the third quarter for me real quick, and we'll cut you a couple of dollars and you can go on about your merry little way. I think most of this is probably closer to that than, oh, I'm gonna go ahead and scam the team and oops.
This pride fucking with you.
Yes. That, in my honest opinion, and that makes way more sense than being like, oh, Chauncey Billups just he's throwing games and whatever. No, I don't think so. No, not a chance. absolutely. Thank you, Solo Dolo. Prop betting is the technical is the betting term for it.
So with states where it's not legal, or in the case of the NBA, you certainly can't be an NBA player or an NBA coach and bet on basketball games. So an issue for the NBA as well. But that's an interesting distinction, right? That the ultimate bets, which allegedly were based on having inside information, were placed legally through legal sportsbooks. So as you look at how the league has grown and adapted to these changes, I mean, gosh, we had NBA Commissioner Adam Silver at our live event just 1 month ago, and I asked him about betting, and he talked specifically about
So everything is legal except for what he did. This motherfucker. Yo, man, the okie doke is real. Hey, they ought to abolish professional sports, dog. I'm so over professional sports.
danger of prop bets. And he is not the only one. And the NCAA President Charlie Baker has tried to restrict and ban prop bets on college sports and college athletes. Meanwhile, just yesterday came the news that the NCAA member schools are going to allow college athletes to bet on pro sports. So, of course, this NBA arrest ring has nothing to do with college, and yet that is remarkable timing, right? So my point is, all of the major pro leagues right now are dealing with the legalized sports betting landscape. And certainly, if anyone thought that legalization would keep these scandals away, that is not the case at all. And it seems to have a higher rate of incidence in the NBA because I think of those prop bets.
That's a great way of putting it and breaking it down for folks at home. And Dan, we're still taking this live look there in New York City. We know the press conference earlier today happened in Brooklyn. You pointed on a few things I want to break down for just a second for folks at home. But initially, let's talk about the NBA's history with sports betting and some of the issues. I mean, the most profound player of all time. People say he's the GOAT. Of course, Michael Jordan was even wrapped up in some of these conversations more than 20 years ago. It's been a long history of these things happening.
Y'all don't see the play. They don't see the play, Broken Blade.
More evidence that these laws are plastic.
Yeah. No, they're going to try to drag and destroy every reputation they possibly can. They ain't going to leave Michael Jordan alone. They ain't going to leave MJ alone. He got too much of his money still. He buying NASCAR teams? Oh, no. $100 million a month on Nikes? Oh, no. Paying for college kids going to school? Oh, no. Building healthcare systems and hospitals? Oh, no. No, we got to get him out of here. We got to get him out of here. Michael Jordan quietly in the background helps so many black people. But he just doesn't promote it. He doesn't push it because part of the reason I think he wants to keep them crosshairs off of his chest.
Yeah.
If I had to guess. So, oh my God, I never even thought about that part. Yikes. I didn't even think about that.
Good question. I may have missed it, but have they stated what the potential sentence, potential punishment for these gentlemen can be?
No, I haven't heard any. I haven't heard any because I think that there's a varying bunch of different. So the two basketball players, I think, are responsible for or alleged to have been giving information to family members or people like, hey, I'm going to go out this day or at this time, or I'm going to be sick at this time, or I'm not going to play at this time, or somebody on the team is not going to be able to play at this time, or they're injured or whatever. Most of it revolves around injury reports. There has been some, and thank you for reminding me. There has been some, for them, it's mostly just injury reports, when you're going to be in, when you're going to be out, whatever. But the part that they're really not talking about is that the refs actively right now have been swinging games, and they're not talking about that. They have not been talking about the refs at all. And the refs, if anybody is responsible for cheating on the court or pushing the needle one way or the other on the court, it's the referees. And it's one of those things where it's like, okay, well, I can cheat, but you can't cheat.
Yeah.
You know? And like one ref got in trouble for it a few years back.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro, it's these referees. These referees been doing dirt for, because they're the real ones that are up foul. Wait a minute. I guess there was like an instant replay where it was a clear foul after the shot. And they were like, oh, well, he was in the motion of shooting. So yeah, the foul stands. I mean, it's so ugly out here, bro. It's so ugly. Shout out to Cody Marshall. He said nothing new. Look at the NFL, MLB, and NHL. Yeah, I mean, I understand. Like I said, it's all debaucherous, right? It's entertainment. You learn nothing. You really do learn nothing from watching professional sports. Like you don't learn a thing. Like you fill your head full of useless statistics that will never be important.
Right. It
just is. One day I sat down. I was like, damn. I watched 4 football games in one day. I got up in the morning and watched football all day into the night, and I was at a bar. I was like looking at my bank statements. It was like 200 here, 200 there, 200 there. I was like, I spent $600 at 3 different bars on one day.
Damn.
I was like, yo, this is silly. Like, this doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, for what? Like, for what? I'm like, this is a complete waste of time. Like, I didn't get anything accomplished. I didn't earn any money, you know?
Yeah.
So, nah, I'm not a big fan of it. Shout out to Cody Marshall, bro. Nah, bro. Thank you so much for the 2 holla holla. Appreciate you. So you know what? Look, I'm gonna get away from all this. What I did want to do is I just want to go to this part right here. I'm not gonna take you guys. I had this big old long thing that I prepared, and quite frankly, the story to me is just, it's FUBAR, in my honest opinion, and I just don't want to dedicate more time to it than what it's really worth. So current NBA figures Chauncey Billups, Terry Rozier, and Damon Jones were arrested alongside multiple alleged members of New York Gambino, Bobano, Lucchese, and Genovese crime families as part of a federal gambling and racketeering investigation in October 2025. Accused organized crime figures here are the alleged mob figures arrested in connection with the illegal poker, gambling, and schemes. And I wanted to make sure that I highlighted this part right here, because I think this is one of the parts that's important. Joseph Momino Lani, Gambino family captain, collecting payments from illegal poker games. All right, so collecting payments. That means that he was moving money around. Yeah. That means that not only was moving money around, but he probably has something to do with the muscle. Thomas Tommy Juice Gellardo, Bonanno and Javisi family associate. So he wasn't even in the family. Enforcing payments through threats and violence. Now, Broken Blade, I have a sneaky suspicion that I think more of this has to do with these dudes and like what these guys were doing, right? Like, then like, oh, this dude, oh, my knee, I got a sore knee, so I got to put myself out. I mean, I get it. Like, you're still cheating, but how are we focusing so much on this part when there's like this whole infrastructure underneath them that's allowing it to happen, including DraftKings and the NBA, because they know what bets are on what. Like, these billionaire owners, they're betting on the stuff too. But these guys got their mugshots all over TV. Okay.
Now, like, try to come up with a visual for this. It's like you seen the movie Casino.
Mm-hmm.
Like De Niro and Pesci move the way they move. Had like a black celebrity being like their kind of their PR guy, just the guy they're putting on billboards and posters to get people in. Billboard guy gets arrested, they keep making the moves.
Of course. And the crazy part about it is like they don't even like us like that. That's the part that I really kind of I'm annoyed about. You can't be in the family. Like they don't mess with, what do they call us? Moolies?
Moulignons.
Yeah, isn't that what they call us? Well, everybody's got a derogatory term for us. Ain't that something? Yeah, they don't do it. They don't mess with us. They don't really mess with us. So like, why are we even like the idea that we're somehow connected to the mafia? Like what? They don't mess with it. They are so racist. They hate black people. The blacks, like what are we?
What are we gonna say to them?
Like, to tie us to the mafia is crazy work, bro. Yeah, think about that for a second, right? Think about that. It's like Chauncey Billups and the mafia. And everybody's falling for it, though. That's the part that's got me tight. That's the part that got, because when you say it like that and you really think about it, you're like, how silly is it that all these black dudes that are like professional basketball players, but then you got all these mafia dudes that hate black people, do not like black people. but go ahead.
One of my all-time favorite blaxploitation movies called Black Caesar, and that's one of the main parts of the story. The street dude who's trying to get in good with the mafia to make like be a middleman for him, prove himself useful. I can do this, that, and the third for you. And it's been like, nah, we don't associate with. Like, all right, bet you found another link in the chain. Okay, to get your stuff from South America or Bolivia or whatever. Him and the crew went down there, shot the place up. All right, now you have no choice.
Yeah.
And forced to win.
Yeah. Which, again, is that's. I mean, if you're into doing crimes and stuff, but I mean, people doing stuff under duress isn't exactly the best way to get good results. It's not,
But yeah, like the whole movie is like about that, like trying to get in good. They don't fuck with us.
They don't mess with us. No, they don't mess with us. That's the crazy part. I'm like, yo, and everyone has just taken it. That's what I was kind of getting to, Broken Blade, is that we are so self-hating that we can't even get past the obvious part that these people don't even mess with us for real. Like, they don't mess with us for real. All 4 of the 5 crime families and in Chauncey Billups mugshots everywhere. Come on, man.
Phillips, like,
come on, bro. Come on. Like, but see, here's the thing. The majority of everyone has bought it hook, line, and sinker. And that's the cold part about it. I just can't. It's like, look. Ernesty Aiello, Bonanno crime family member involved in rigging the poker games. Louis Acapella, Gambino crime family associate, participated in rigging the poker games. Matthew Dadino, Javesi crime family member involved in illegal poker scheme. Angelo Ruggiero Jr., Gambino crime. Like, Tyrone Jenkins ain't on there. Chauncey Billups ain't on there. Why are we connected to the mob? Why are our mugshots everywhere but not theirs? We know why, but I'm saying, but even other black people aren't being like, hey man, this smells funny. Something's not right. I don't know what it is. I can't quite put my finger on it, but something's not right. But instead, you got a bunch of these old heads that just love to talk down on black people. Oh, this dummy, he's such an idiot. These low IQ individuals, low IQ. You know what they like to, oh, these dummies, the big dummy. They pull that out. The ignorant black person couldn't handle his money properly, not understanding, like, maybe, they could have come knocking, they could have walked up on him in a hotel at one point when he was hammered. They could have put a hooker in front of him or whatever. We don't know what their relationship is. We know they're not working collectively together because they don't mess with us like that. That's the part that's crazy. Seth Trustman, Lucchese crime family, organized and participated in rigged poker. Julius Zilzani, Bonanno crime family member. All these sound Italian to me, Broken Blade. All these guys sound Italian. Am I tripping?
Not at all.
I'm just saying. It just sounds Italian. Chauncey Billup, Terry Rozier, and Damon Jones. Chauncey Billups lured wealthy individuals acting as a face card into illegal rigged poker games, meaning basically he just went there.
Yeah.
Provided insider information on availability to assist fraudulent prop betting. Basically, he just gave information. Participated in both rigged poker games and illegal sports betting scheme. Participated. Didn't plan them. Didn't orchestrate them. Didn't coerce anybody.
He was there.
Didn't threaten anybody. Didn't hurt anybody. But it's his mugshot. It's these guys that are probably the least involved in this whole situation, whose mugshots are all over the place, and everybody wants to bury these dudes under the jail. And thank you, Solo Dolo. I really appreciate that comment. The mob is known for extorting. That's their business. That's their business. But throw the book at these dudes. And no one is being honest about this. No one is talking about it like this. And this is what's annoying me. I tried not to even say anything about this, but nobody is being like, hey, man, Italians don't mess with black people like that. Not the mob. Not the mob. They don't mess with black people like that. Like they are they're pretty clear about their racism. Like they're pretty clear about it. It's not even a question. Like, don't bring one of those moolies home. Like, you can't date their daughters. No, you can't eat at the restaurant. No, you can't hang out on the stoop. No. But all of a sudden, we were like in business cahoots with these guys. Get the fuck out, man. This is crazy.
I've heard of a handful of exceptions, but that's everywhere. Like, yeah, for the most part, nah.
Exactly. A handful of exceptions. Not like, hey, we're going to let you in on the inner workings of our operation. Like, what?
What's his name? I think it was Vince Gironda. It was like some legendary Italian bodybuilder that trained Carl Weathers.
Like he was cool. He was like, he at least was cordial with us.
No, they sound like they were cool.
They were cool.
Cool.
Again,
like,
on an individual basis, that's again.
Yeah.
I'm not. It's like trying to say all white people bad. All white people aren't bad. All Italians ain't bad. But as far as the mob is concerned, where they have like rules and regulations about daily life and what they can and cannot do, messing with black people ain't one of them. Very well known.
Yeah.
Very well known. I mean, and then I can be funny and say, watch any episode of The Sopranos, and they'll tell you exactly what their opinion of black people are. And that's a watered down version for TV. And that wasn't very nice. I stopped watching The Sopranos after a couple episodes. I was like, hey man, like you know what? Like I can't even fuck these. I'm good. I can't even participate. I probably like piecemealed my way through, but I could never really get with it. Cause I'm like, yeah, these people, I can't even pretend to like these people. According to,
I'm like refused to watch like low key refused to watch Sons of Anarchy. I'm respecting. It has that vibe to it.
Yeah,
I could be wrong, but
no. They have they stay away. It's a little bit more respectful, but not respectful in a way like we respect them as people. It's just more like they got guns too. Like it's not like, and because it's not like they were dealing with like drug addict. They were dealing with like, blacks that had a little bit of firepower. So it was like, they felt the same way, but they at least respected the firepower is what I'm saying. So they at least.
Oh, don't tell me it was like full, like 48 hours on Sopranos. It was just like white man, just strong arm and.
Oh, it was just like, oh yeah, we don't.
Yeah, I was like trash talking, like
or let the drugs into the ba ba ba. Let them do the ba da da da. We don't do the ba da da da. Let the mutts over there. Da da da. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's how they really feel. That's how they really feel. Let's see. Rigged poker games, high stake poker games were allegedly rigged using technology like card rating. The fact that they're tying all of this stuff together is crazy. So I did, and I'm going to end on this. I did ask a question really quickly. I did ask this real quick. Sorry guys, I like to record. I did ask, what were the top 3 trending stories in the media before the story came out? Prior to the Mafia and NBA arrests late October 2025, the top trending stories in the media were dominated by domestic and international events from earlier that month, most notably the ongoing U.S. government shutdown, escalating violence in, over there by Canada, and the active hurricane season. Political gridlock, stalemate between congressional leaders meant for no funding agreements could be reached, meaning people are starting to get a little bit antsy because their money ain't coming through and checks ain't coming. Widespread impact. Let's see. The impasse left hundreds of thousands of federal employees furloughed or working without pay. SNAP benefits are in jeopardy. The uncertainty caused a major concern for more than 42 million Americans relying on supplemental nutrition assistance program SNAP benefits, with state filing lawsuits against the administration. There was hostage release and violence in the Gaza war. International news in October 2025 was dominated by developments in the Gaza conflict. A potential peace deal and agreement was reached for the release of the remaining hostages in Gaza. Continued violence, despite the peace efforts, reports of Israeli strikes that caused dozens of Palestinian unalivements continued to make headlines. I believe that that's part of the biggest thing right there. And then humanitarian aid blocked Israel's interception of global Samud flotilla carrying humanitarian aid, sparked international condemnation. There was the there's the hurricane. Obviously, they had been tracking that thing. Also, let's see how many mass in I think it might have had something to do with this, because I think that there were there are at least 15 pows happening, and I think a lot of them were non-melanated people. Helena, South Carolina, Leland, Mississippi, Heidelberg, Mississippi, Rolling Fork, Mississippi. There's a whole bunch of them in black HBCUs. Now, they weren't done by, I don't know whether all of them were done by melanated or non-melanated people, but I know HBCUs had a lot of, there was there are like 3 or 4 of these are homecomings at HBCUs. Alcorn State. Let's see. Think about it. This is Montgomery, Alabama, Mobile, Alabama, Atlanta, Georgia, Lorman, Mississippi, Rolling Fork, Mississippi, Heidelberg, Mississippi, Leland, Mississippi, St. Helena, South Carolina, Chicago, Bethany, Oklahoma, DC, North Carolina, Pennsylvania. This was in a university, HBCU, Houston, Texas, and Pasco, Washington. I think maybe 1 or 2 or 3 of these was also maybe. Yeah. Anyways, bro, look, I had a who's this? Can you prove that? Can you prove that? Yeah, we don't do that kind of trolling over here, bro. We don't do that kind of trolling over here. And if you can prove that he was doing drugs while he was doing his job, we're willing to listen. But putting that kind of jacket on somebody just because is what? Just because he's black, we're supposed to believe he was smoking crack? Is that what you're trying to say? Because that's how I'm perceiving it. This is what I'm talking about, Broken Blade. Right? Like you could just sprinkle some crack on it, and they'll be like, "Yeah, I'm sure he did it. He smoked crack. You know, because black people like to smoke crack." Right? He's probably got like 3 or 4 or 5 baby mamas too, right? Yeah, that was probably a troll. But that's kind of what I'm talking about, right? Do you think that this is a real person?
Doubtful.
Yeah, right. Probably is. Like shit, whatever. Let's say the mafia and legacy supremacy because of racism and not solo at all. Yeah, well, yeah, because they're like giving too much truth, huh? It was too real for everybody. Not to Solo Dolo, bro. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Like I said, my man is the other side of my brain. Shout out to you. Yep. So look, man, I'm not going to keep you guys too much longer. I wanted to be on here for about an hour. I know that we kind of sucked up a little bit talking about religion, but I think it's important for us to have those conversations anyway. And so that's why I kind of wanted to actually have it, because I think more people need to start to conceptualize their relationship with religion. I think maybe it's healthy for us to, because there are some people that have questions, or some people that are just like, you know what, I'm not even messing with that, even though in the back of their head, they're like, I need to get straight with God, and so I need to figure something out, instead of just kicking the can down the road, and, openly being like, look, man, I don't have all the answers. I got questions too, let me, some of this stuff doesn't make any sense to me. And for us to talk about publicly, some of it, I think it's important to do that, even if, you sit in a dark room and you meditate on your own and you become one with yourself, and you talk to God that way. And that's how you say your prayers, and that's how you worship. Like, look, man, do how you do. Who am I to judge? All I'm saying is that I'm having a spiritual rediscovering, or a spiritual, discovering of myself and what I got going on. And, I think everyone should do the same, especially now. I think that we're in a time of enlightenment, and there's information available to us now that was never available to us before. And now you don't necessarily have to listen to that, that pastor that drives the Bentley or the Cadillac or whatever. You can go over his head and he's like, what did the Bible say before you got your hands on it? Or what did the Bible say before they got their hands on it? Or what was really going on at that time? Or I see how you interpreted that verse, but this other dude interpreted it a different way, because when you add the first verse and the verse after it, it says something a little bit different. And so now that we have that kind of information at our fingertips, I think it changes things a little bit. And remember, I was telling you, it feels like people are kind of punching at the air and feeling the desperation. These churches are acting desperate too, right? Locking doors and to make you tithe before you leave, shaming a woman because her $1,200 tithe wasn't enough, because it wasn't.
False prophets, absolutely.
What? Oh no. Oh, no. Whatever God you pray to, sir, whatever God you pray to, sir, is not the same God I pray to. Because if the same God you pray to is the same God I pray to, then he would have struck you down right where you stand. You know what I'm saying? He needs to strike you down right where you stand. A lightning bolt needs to come straight through the ceiling of that church and knock you down right where you stand, talking about the $1,200 ain't enough. Oh, my God. Oh my God, I would have got up and said, I'm out of here, and all of y'all need to come with me. I would have walked right out of that church.
At this point, I'll take it a step further, like locking the doors, all of that. Like,
yeah.
No, some of them deserve a fade.
Ooh, that would have been the move, Broken Blade. That would have been the move.
Again,
just walk straight up to the church and be like, wait.
God, trying to move the right way. You're playing with people's souls.
100%. Because they think they're going to get something for that. They think that they believe that by putting that money in your hands, you're going to do the right thing with it. And they're somehow being cleansed of some of their misdeeds. They really feel that way. They really believe that. I don't see tithing that way. I see it as like helping the ministry grow and do its thing. And like, I need to see some direct results of my whatever, but I see church a little bit different, but yeah.
Shout out to my church. I've seen that there's been times like a couple weeks back, they've showed like a couple, I forgot where they were at, somewhere in Europe, like a missionary couple doing like a missionary work in another country that we've been funding. They've been very transparent what they've been doing with the money.
Yeah. And that's great. That's the way it should be.
Yeah.
That's the way it should be. Every single cent needs to be accounted for. And the thing of it is that people don't mind if you make money. It's that you don't want to be taken advantage of.
Exactly.
You know, like I don't mind, you know, I don't, when I used to sell cars, I'd be like, look, man, look, when I was like in the sales part, I'd be like, look, bro, this is a freaking Honda Civic, bro. There ain't nothing but $700 of profit in this bitch, brand spanking new at MSRP. I'm like, I'm selling to you, I'm making $100 on it. Since it's an old unit, I'm making another $50, I'm making $150 on this sale. I don't give a fuck whether you buy this thing or not. I'm gonna go to the next guy and they'd be like, oh, okay. I'm like, yeah, you're not getting much more of a discount than that. That's it. That's it. There's $700 in this thing. That's it. It's a Civic. Okay. It's not a freaking Cadillac. It's not a Mercedes. That doesn't have like $8,000 worth of profit in it. It's $700. So this is what you get. And people appreciate that. They'd be like, oh, okay, at least you played it to me straight. You know, I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like, you know, and as long as you're shooting straight, people don't mind that you have a decent living. People don't want to see you living in squalor. You know, especially if you're providing a service for them or you're selling them something that they want, or you're helping them with something that they don't want to see you do bad. They want to get a deal, but they don't want to see you poor either. So anyway, look, guys, I just my whole thing about this situation, and this is for more so for the audience and Broken Blade. I'm gonna come to you to close us out. Is this? My issue is that we have just so quick to crucify our own without asking any questions. We have been conditioned to just expect bad behavior and criminality from people that look like us. And that's just not the thing. That's not the move. That's not the move. I think we need to absolutely question all of these things from here on out. Look, and again, I talked about it yesterday. I'm going to talk about it today. Look, someone posted a video, a photo of a guy that was particularly heinous, but it was a stereotypical black dude looking crazy, thousand eye stare with the hair looking all crazy and whatever. And he looked like the stereotypical person that Fox News would put on the mugshot on TV. And, you know, this person posted this thing, and I know that their heart and spirit was good and doing it as far as like maybe sharing information or to talk about this thing. But those images are used against us constantly. And we should not be promoting those kind of images. Look, if somebody did something bad, then they did something bad. But for us to put that stuff and push that stuff on our social media and like get likes and clicks for it is not the move, guys. It's not the move. And that falls right in line with this. Our image is everything. Now, I know, just like you know, that white folks don't claim the trailer parks. White folks don't claim the meth heads. They don't claim them, right? It's like, oh, that's just a meth head. Oh, that's just he needed mental health or whatever. He had bad mental health or whatever, or he had a PTSD or whatever. They make excuses for that, but they don't ever claim there was something wrong with that person. He's not a regular person. But for us, that's just what we do. And we can't continue to put those kind of images out all of the time and expect for things to change when they can like grab your Instagram and be like, see, look, this is what these dumb N-words do. Look. And they've got your social media to point to. Jason Whitlock, you know? So that's all I'm saying is that let's not be so quick to put our own down and to pile on, right? Chauncey Billups got a family. You know, these other guys got families. You know, this is not, they didn't, this, and I'm not to say that they didn't do anything. What I'm saying is that do they deserve to get perp walked and have their mugshots all over everywhere and get their you know, families and personal lives torn apart and ripped to shreds in the public eye when all of these other guys who are actually doing the crimes can remain in the shadows, right? Yep, Hodge twins, right? And so we shouldn't contribute to that. We should ask the questions. Nobody's like, hey man, Mafia, they don't mess with black people. They don't do business with us for real. They don't like us. So what is this? What are we talking about? They use us as a prop, and we're the ones getting held out in front of the news media as the person that did the thing. Come on, man. Like, we got to be smarter than that. We just got to be smarter than that. And so, look, if you got, and I know that we're like I said, we're used to collectively having this stuff happen to us. We need to like hit the pause on that for ourselves. And then when we encounter other people that are having these same kind of attitudes, be like, hey, you guys think it's funny that just the black dudes got freaking perp walked, right? Like, you guys know any Italians and mafia guys that, like, how many black people do you know are in the mafia? No, right? So like, what? So you don't think that's funny? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that
Suspicious.
So, anyways, that's all I got. Broken Blade, take us out of here, bro. What are your thoughts?
I covered this in one of my last videos. Hell Game Wisdom. Sports, the entire process of sports has shades of chattel slavery throughout.
All over.
The NFL Combine is akin to a modern slave auction. All of these major sports, with the exception of hockey, predominantly black, and these athletes are the linchpin of the whole economic system. Millions passing through this system to see these athletes, and even so, we're still treated as less than. Commit any crime, get accused of any crime. Hell, don't vote the way they want you to vote. Here comes the proverbial whip. I've been seeing white people, black people, Asians, Hispanics, everybody trying to wag the finger at us, trying to hit us with that proverbial whip. Maybe I'll break down some basic biology, very simple terms. When skin is damaged, when it is cut, it initially bleeds and scabs. But if you keep striking that skin, eventually it calluses. And the nerve ends die. And the thing that used to hurt so much before doesn't seem to sting quite as much. We've seen this too many times. It's par for the course. It doesn't even hurt anymore. It's just annoying. Black men, nowadays especially, shit is getting volatile. They're looking for any reason to fuck with us, to lock us up. Keep your head on the swivel. Be careful with the people you associate with. And by all means, do what you can to boycott any and every industry that wants to make $1 off your back and refuse to see you as a human being. I'll land my plane there.
That's what's up, man. I love that. I love that. We might have to do a whole separate thing on that alone. Just find black businesses and black people that are close to you that you can just deal with the best you can. I'm with you on that. I think that we need to make a concerted effort to do that. I love that idea, man. Shout out to everybody that came through. Solo Dolo, Braxton, of course. Who else came through? And I have everybody rent that should be wrenched. I know that the group is still pretty slow, and I wasn't talking about shenanigans, but I want to make sure everybody is wrenched up like they should be. For the most part, it's just us, but yeah, and then Broken Blade will let me know if there's somebody that pops up that needs to be wrenched that's not wrenched. Yeah. So, yeah. But No, man. Thank you guys so much. I really, truly appreciate it. I think we're starting to finally get our YouTube legs back, get a little rhythm going back again, which is good. Trying to do these classes and so on and so forth. Those things are going to be, like I said, I'll try to get them set up in enough time so that everybody can see. You know, my schedule is always a little bit but again, that's still, you know, still rocking that, still doing that. So there will be a lot more, there'll be a lot more to come in the very near future. Hope everybody has a wonderful evening. And Broken Blade and we will catch you guys on the next one. We out. Peace.
Because that's just what's happening. We are winning.